Hi everybody, Steve here from the Vinyl Record Mission, and today I'm going to share 5 records with you that hardcore collectors are willing to and have spent up to $1,000 combined on these records and more. And it's not the records you're thinking. Trust me, you'll be scared straight after this.
Your 2 favorite guys, Ryan and Steve, from the Vinyl Record Mission.
Yeah, so it's not rare psych, it's not rare prog, it's not rare blue note jazz records or electronic or progressive or any of those hip, cool genres that people are shelling out, a month's rent or half a month's rent, depending on where you live, or a quarter of a month's rent, depending on where you live. No, it's Halloween records, yeah. And it's October, and my birthday happens to be on Halloween. Yeah. And here's my driver's license to prove it, minus all the incriminating information that could send me to the poorhouse. But this is the original, first pressing, 1979 is when it was released. Halloween. Yep, the famous horror film that was released in 1978 and is still a cult classic to this day. This original pressing was pressed in Japan, and it was pressed in 1979. And here is the label of that record. You see the Japanese writing. It's on Columbia, and it is one of the more rare issues to find. And these are all closed sales on PopPsych. So this record without the OBI, which I don't have, I just recently got this in the last dig, in dig number 18. You saw it, and it's selling for, without the OBI, around $250. The median price is around $159, and that's for a medium condition record like a VG Plus. This is near mint all the way. So this is one of the records that will set you back a pretty penny if you want to buy it. So moving on to another record that will blow your mind. We're going to step away from the Halloween franchise here for a minute, and I'm going to show you a copy of Alan Schwartz's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. $1,250 price tag, sold on PopPsych in June of 2023. It's also selling for $400. It's selling for $350. And this record will blow your mind. And I didn't even know I had it in my collection until I started searching Halloween records. I've always played it because I love it at Halloween time. And it's this right here. This is Alan Schwartz, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, read by George S. Irving. Now, Alan Schwartz was a very, very famous horror writer. He's written over 50 books, and they're all centered around his scary story themes. And he was an amazing writer. This record is creepy to listen to. It does have some music throughout, but most of it is spoken word and with maybe some background music on it. And that music is by Blaine and DeRosa. It says on here, music composed by Blaine and DeRosa. This is actually from 1985. I knew I had this record, but I didn't know it was worth that much money. I had no clue at all. I only found out because I wanted to do a Halloween record video and show the new one that I had, and then also the other Halloween records that I have that happen to be pretty expensive too, I'm coming to find out. This record, another ringer when it comes to value. If you see this record, grab it. It seems to be extremely rare. Here's something that'll make you laugh. I searched it on Google and I found a sealed copy on Etsy. Check the price out on this. $1,800. Yeah. Wow. I don't know that it's worth that much, but someone's trying to get that much. Let's move on to the other Halloween records in my collection. Continuing with the highly successful John Carpenter franchise, Halloween. Now I'm on to Halloween 2. And this record much to my surprise, in the past, 2022 and 2023, selling for up to $200, $150. And now I can really see the market changing. Now these records are selling, I would say my copy would fetch $100 easily because of the condition. And this is on the Ferres OG first pressing label of this record. Beautiful condition, you can see there. And this is also another highly sought after Halloween record. And the one that I am missing, I don't have Halloween 3. If you can find that one, jump on it, but it is very expensive. The only sales I can find for Halloween 3 are like upwards of $300. So that seems to be one that didn't get pressed in large amounts, so they're not as easy to find. And I've got 1, 2, don't have 3, but I have 4. And here's the classic Halloween 4. And that's also on this Varese label. Sarabanda, Varese Sarabanda. And that's another OG pressing from the Halloween franchise that people seem to be willing to pay up to $100 for, which still puts it in a pretty high price category for a Halloween record. I mean, you know, there's a lot of other records that people can buy that I would rather drop my money on, but luckily I got these records for $1.50 a piece. Yeah, every single one of them. So much for the Halloween franchise. We've got those out of the way. And now I just want to move on to some other really cool Halloween records that sell for around $50 a piece, but they're really, really great listens. This is the great Philly Joe Jones doing Blues for Dracula on Riverside. The original Riverside pressing from 1958 will set you back about $400, $350 for a near mint copy. And they're not easy to find, believe me, they're not easy to find. I was perfectly happy with the Japanese pressing because it sounds just as great to me for what it is. And I paid $50 for it. So you can get a really nice near mint copy of this great album, Blues for Dracula, which is done in great Halloween fashion for anywhere between $35 to $50. And it's just an amazing jazz record for Halloween time. Philly Joe, come on. Let's see who else we got on here. It's got the OBI strip on there and everything. So you've got Nat Adderley on the cornet. Come on. Julian Priester on the trombone. Johnny Griffin on tenor sax. Johnny Griffin, yes. Tommy Flanagan on piano, another great. Jimmy Garrison on bass. Yeah, that's Coltrane's guy. And then, of course, the great Philly Joe Jones on the drums. This was recorded in New York City, September 17th, 1958. And yeah, just an amazing record to have for Halloween time. It comes on this here, the Milestone label. And it's beautifully pressed, amazing sound quality. Next up, couple of super unique records that won't break the bank. I mean, $50 is pretty expensive. This record can be had for anywhere between $35 to $50. And this is A Night in a Graveyard. This is an Italian pressing. And the neat thing about this record is that it is said to be recorded live at the estate, on the estate of Count Dracula. See that? Says it right there. Recorded live on the estate of Count Dracula. This record scares the bejesus out of all the little kids when they come up to get candy at my house. It's funny. It really is. To see their faces and, you know, they're all spooked out. If we're here, I usually have a really scary mask on when I answer the door. And the kids are very frightened to take candy from me. And this is the really cool Italian label right there. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, made in Italy. So, an amazing record on Haunted House Music Company. And I almost forgot to show you my later pressing, 1985 I think it is, from Varese Sarabanda. This is the original Halloween 1. It's on the great Vares Sarabande label, and it is a Halloween 1. It's just not the OG. This record still sells for, I've seen it sell for up to $200, up to $150. I would say fairly, mine's probably valued at about $100, just because the market really has softened up. I mean, you can see it. You can go back to 2022 and search all these records in 2022, and they're all selling for upwards of 150, 250, 350. Very expensive in 2022, and the prices have softened up tremendously. And I do believe that that's a sign for all the records to come here in the coming years. So be careful not to overpay for records right now. Be firm on your price, negotiate, and do your best to get a great deal, because if you're in it for the long haul, I would say it may not matter as much, because I think record values are only going to continue to go up. They're rare. They're not the OG stuff that's, it's being reissued, but the original pressings are going to get more and more valuable as time goes on. So that being said, moving on to the last record. This is spooky stuff for Halloween in a way that I've never seen Halloween spelled before in my life. It's got an apostrophe EN on there. Don't even ask. Maybe some English major can help me out with that one. But this is a record that was pressed a long time ago, 1960. This is the oldest one of the bunch. But it's got these really, it's got great sound effects on it. And it is scary. It's a scary sounding record. I mean, we put this on. It's got witches screaming. It's got creaking doors opening and closing. It's got heavy footsteps with chains, ghostly goblin laughs, witch's cat meowing, screaming, witches and goblins cackling and laughing, a wolf and coyote howling, tic-tac followed by glass crash, light rain, heavy rain, rain with thunder, thunderclap, heavy wind, crickets. I mean, you name it. It's got every spooky sound that you can think of, on a Halloween night. And this record, same thing, about $50 if you find a nice copy, a nice near mint copy. So thanks for joining me on this little brief Halloween edition of, these are pretty much my favorite Halloween records, the ones that we really enjoy listening to every year. So if you have any records that I missed that you want to share with me, let me know in the comments, because we're always looking to improve our Halloween collection. Having a Halloween baby in the family, such as myself, Halloween is a real special time of year for us. So we celebrate it maybe a little more than most people. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time on the Vinyl Record Mission. Bye-bye for now.
And suddenly
If you haven't, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the Vinyl Record Mission, so that way you don't miss out on any future content. More videos coming your way.